Hello, welcome to Healthy Kingston. I'm your host, Janet Wade. This program today is going to be focused on COVID-19, which, as we all know, has majorly impacted all of our lives, individually, family-wise, neighborhood, and certainly throughout the globe. There have been some major announcements that have been made just recently about COVID. One of them being from the Department of Education in Massachusetts, that's over elementary and secondary schools. And that is that there is now a mandate for masks for students, faculty, and administration in schools and anyone going into a school. And this is for ages 5 on up. And it will be reevaluated again at the beginning of October. Those children who have any type of behavioral problems and are not in a position to wear a mask will not have to wear a mask. So outside, people will not have to wear masks, but they're definitely mandated inside. Also, some good news from the Food and Drug Administration, and that the Pfizer vaccine has been approved. And so a number of people who have been cautious and leery about getting the vaccine should now feel far more comfortable, and that it has been well researched and that it is now approved by the FDA for people to receive. Also, there is discussion and the probability that a booster shot will be imminent within the next month or so for people who have already had 2 vaccines. They can again get a 3rd one, which will help to rebuild everyone's immune system who's already been vaccinated. So with that, I would like to now introduce Leanne McGuinness, who is a registered nurse and has done an excellent job in overseeing. She not only oversees it, but she has introduced the vaccine clinic here in Kingston. She's going to tell you more about it as to when it's being held. She's also been tracking COVID cases in the town. So with that, Leanne, thank you for being here.
Janet, thank you for allowing me to be here. My name is Leanne McGuinness. I'm a registered nurse in the state of Massachusetts. I would just like to start off with letting everyone know, as Janet explained, the Pfizer vaccine camaraderie is now approved for ages 16 and up. So everyone should feel safe, get out, get vaccinated. We have an upcoming vaccine clinic at the Kingston Intermediate School, and that is at 65 Second Brook Intermediate School, and that will be September 4th and September 25th, both Saturdays from 10 to 1. You can sign up at Mass Vax Finder, or you could just come in. We will take walk-ins. We are so excited. We wanted to thank our local school department and the fire department for working so close with the Board of Health to get our community vaccinated and get the kids ready to go back to school. I do want to update everybody. I have been watching very closely with the COVID cases in Kingston as they are rising every week, every day. The numbers are going up as people are exiting their isolation and quarantine. We have more rolling in. As of today, we have 38 positive cases right here in Kingston that are they were communicated. You know, they need to follow the policy and guidelines around isolating and quarantine. We did have an outbreak over the last couple of weeks at a local daycare. So the ages right now with this Delta variant, it's newborns all the way, all the school age children. So it's really important to get these kids vaccinated, you know, to protect these children when they go into school. If they do happen, you know, if they're out in the community and they contract the COVID disease, that they're able to, the severity of the disease is lessened. It does not mean if you get vaccinated, it is a shield and you will not get COVID, but when your symptoms are lessened and hospitalization cases are lowered as well. So we encourage you to get out and get vaccinated. And at the Board of Health, we're here to protect everyone the best that we can with what we have. You know, mask up if you go out to help yourself. It's a really great idea. So with that being said, Kingston, keep working hard, and the vaccine numbers are going up in Kingston. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Leanne, for that wonderful report. I do want to add to my previous remarks and also to add to what Leanne had to say, that you do not have to be a Kingston resident to afford yourself with a Pfizer vaccine. So you can be from out of the Kingston area. So don't let that stop you if you are from Plymouth, Halifax, somewhere else. We just want to get as many people vaccinated as possible. And it's also been interesting and very gratifying that a number of parents have brought their teens in to be vaccinated, and they've also decided to be vaccinated at the same time. I mean, obviously, you're the role model for your children. So it's made a very positive impact having it offered. And I did want to add that, yes, the FDA has approved 16 and above for the Pfizer vaccine, but also in emergency situations like the pandemic, they have approved it for teens that are 12 to 15. So those of you who are coming in who have 12 to 15-year-olds, you should feel fine, and that it has been approved for your children's age group as well. So with that, Leanne, thank you very much for all of your good work. As I mentioned at the beginning of this program, the implications of COVID on all of our lives is astronomical. And it was interesting in that I had recently spoke to the director of the medics for the town, who had said the vast majority of the cases on which they go out on are because of mental health issues. And we read a lot about it in the news and we hear a lot about it. And I've certainly seen it in my family and friends and colleagues. It's just a very stressful time. So we have an expert here on stress and maintaining mental health, Barbara Ward, who has a master's in social work and is a counselor and is here to speak to the subject, and also how we can keep from being totally overwhelmed by what we're all going through during this pandemic, and how we can relieve a lot of the stress that we're under. So Barbara, wonderful to have you here. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Janet, for trusting in me. And I just want to say we're all in this together, and it doesn't matter, you know, who I am or what I do. We're all under the same umbrella of sadness, anger, depression, fear. I think anxiety and anger are mixed together, and our feelings are just overwhelming. I don't think any of us knows anyone right now who could honestly say that they're happy as a lark, because there's nothing to be happy about. Starting with Afghanistan, COVID, fires, floods, heat waves, violence, unnecessary deaths, the clash of political ideas, religious ideas, it's just overwhelming. And I think that the problem is that we don't know how to stop it, and we can't, I don't think we're willing to accept that there's been a huge societal change that those of us who are older can't quite adapt to. But I think the younger generation probably is struggling in a different way, because they're not as practiced as we are in dealing with situations that we have now. But none of us can deal with what we have right now. What we have to do is just find a way to settle into the present moment just for ourselves, even if we can create just a small oasis of presence, and know that really and truly, this is the only moment any of us has, is just being in the present moment. And the one thing that connects all of us through all the discourse, through all the trauma, the sadness, the depression, is that we're all still breathing. And I think that we forget to breathe when we're under this much pressure. So I would just invite anybody who's listening right now to, if they can, maybe just close their eyes for a moment and just take a moment to really settle into what it means to just be alive in this moment, even though it seems fraught with danger. And that just conscious breathing can actually get us to a place where we can accept the present moment and not be dwelling always in the past or futurizing, but just realizing what the reality is. And that if we could just stay still and breathe into it, we might be able to find the inner resources that we need to deal with fear, with the anger, with the depression. Because this is not clinical depression that a lot of us are feeling. This is real depression. We are in a depressed state. We have tried something that seems to have failed, and now we're going to try again to correct it. And the only thing that any of us can do is to just let go into this present moment. So sometimes there's just no way to do that. But I have found something, I can't remember who introduced me to it, but just even for a few moments of peacefulness in the presence, I would just invite everyone to just stretch out the palm of their left hand and look at it. Looking down at the palm of your hand, just take your index finger of your right hand and just lightly touch the very center point in the palm of your hand. And then gently, just with your eyes closed even, just notice your sensations of your breath. Everybody will eventually feel their breath rising and falling or ebbing and flowing. But when you're ready, just take this index finger and see if you can start to breathe and just slowly slide this index finger up to the top of the thumb on your left hand. And then when you breathe out, see if you can just slowly, slowly draw the thumb back to the center of your wrist. And then breathe in slowly and gently, sliding this index finger all the way up to the top of your pointer finger on your left hand. Breathe out and slowly let the breath come all the way down to the center of your wrist. Gently breathe in and slide your finger slowly up to the tip of your middle finger. Exhale slowly and bring the breath all the way down. And inhale gently and slide that breath all the way up to the tip of your ring finger. And exhale, slide it all the way down. Inhale all the way up to the tip of your little finger. And exhale all the way down. And then just for a moment with your eyes closed, just notice if you maybe come back to the ground. Maybe feel your feet on the earth right now. And then again, just being present for your breath, because when we work with our breath, we can actually change our brains. And right now, our brains are working overtime, hyperventilating us, causing us to feel out of control. So we can bring ourselves into control by just knowing that of all the things that we can control, it's one thing that we take for granted, and that's our breath. So let's just remind ourselves that we're breathing again. And sometimes it is easier to close your eyes so you can feel the sensations of your breath. All right, so some people feel their breath in their belly, some people feel it on the tip of their nose. Most of us sometimes don't feel the breath at all, but just for a moment, just notice where you feel the sensations. And we're just going to breathe and try to kind of get rid of this, what seems like a brick wall in front of us, that seems black and impenetrable. Let's just try to stay behind the wall and just come back into this present moment. All of us are breathing. Some of us are breathing too fast. Some of us are breathing too slow. Some of us don't even realize we're breathing. But it's the breath that connects us. And what we need now is connection. We're also isolated. And if you think when you're breathing that every breath you are breathing in is really a breath that someone has breathed out. So even if we could just get enough of our friends at one time to just breathe in peace and breathe out peace, it might change the difficulties that we're having with our feelings, because these feelings are common in human feelings, but they're so out of proportion now because what's happening is out of proportion. Everyone feels out of their comfort zone and out of control. So again, what can we control? We can control the breath. We can breathe in through our noses and out through our noses slowly. We don't have to be galloping away with our emotions. We can breathe and just sit here with our emotions and let everything just kind of ground down into this true moment, accepting the reality of what's going around us, but also accepting the reality of the fact that we are alive and well in this moment. So just for a moment, think about the fact that you can change your breath, your brain by focusing on the breath. And just for a moment, just breathe and just see if you can just feel your chest while you're breathing. So you might take in a deeper breath and breathe out a little more slowly. You feel the sensation. You might even put your hand on your chest. And then see if you can imagine just breathing into the right side of your breath, your chest right now. And then switch and see if you can breathe into the left side of your chest right now. And then bring your awareness to the sensations of the back of your body. See if you can feel this next breath in the whole back of your body. Breathing in slowly, breathing out slowly. See if you can just breathe into the right side of the back of your body. And now see if you can just breathe into the left side of the back of your body. And then breathe into the whole back. Breathe into the chest. And now breathe and see if you can breathe and start to feel your heart. So bring your hand over your heart right now. So most of us know that our heart is nestled in near our left lung, but even just putting your hand on your breastbone right now, coming back to your heart, just see if you can breathe in love and appreciation in your heart for all the good things that you're grateful for that you've been given in spite of the stress that surrounds us. See if you can appreciate the kindness that you have to offer, the caring, the love. And touching your heart, imagine that every time you breathe, you're sending out a message of love and appreciation and a sense of peace to all the people that you're connected with. And then with your hand on your heart, take time now to breathe in all the love that you've been given and is still being given to you. Breathe in all the caring of people that probably are caring for you the way you're caring for other people right now too. And just let ourselves be filled with love and appreciation for what it means to be exchanging the life force that we have with all beings everywhere, because if we don't all come together and be of one mind in dealing with the reality of what we're facing right now, the ideas of pain and suffering might continue. And we don't want that to happen. When things fall apart, we need to stop and try to find the pieces and put them back together. If we're living with uncertainty, someone said that means that we have to live immediately. So right now, even though that some of us feel that we're on the ledge, when you're standing on the ledge, take a step back Breathe in and know you're breathing in. Breathe out and know you're breathing out. Breathe in deeply and then breathe out slowly. And see if you can just imagine, you can see the word in your heart right now. Breathe in calmness. See if you can breathe out tension. And then again, really open your heart to breathe in peace. Breathe out peace. And then we can all celebrate the fact that no matter what has happened or what's going to happen, we can breathe in this present moment. And this present moment is still a wonderful moment.
Thank you, Barbara. I think that's a beautiful place to end. And I'm just relaxed hearing your voice. And, you know, I would hope that everyone would think of Barbara's words and possibly tape this and listen over and over again, so that we can all become centered, be in the moment, take it down a notch when we're getting sucked into the vortex of everyone being stretched around us and stressed, and see that we really do have a lot to be grateful for, and relaxing and being in the moment and just breathing. So, Barbara, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
And Janet, you're appreciated because you're one of the light bearers. And I think we all have to remember that we all are light bearers, and you have to keep shining your light, and we all have to join you. So thank you for all the efforts you make.
Thank you. Thank you, Barbara. You as well. Okay. We all know that our children are going to be, and grandchildren are going to be starting back to school within the next week or two. And I do have to say, before I talk about children's immune system and keeping them healthy to return to school, certainly what Barbara said segues into this. We've all heard it, but it's really true. We can't be good caregivers if we're not good to ourselves. So all the things I'm going to be mentioning, I think, are more than applicable to adults as well. But it's very important that we send our children back to school healthy, so that any germs that might be in the area, they are able to resist, that they have really strong immune systems. So we're not only just talking about COVID, but we're talking about the flu, the rhinovirus causes colds, and a myriad of other germs that are floating in the air. So there are 7 areas I would like to briefly touch on to keep in mind in keeping your children healthy, and you as well. Certainly personal hygiene. Children need to be bathing, taking good care of themselves, their physical bodies, keeping in mind if they clip their nails, not chewing on their nails, putting their fingers in their mouths, because it's a wonderful way to get bacteria and organisms in their mouth. So discouraging nail biting, hands and mouth, and hand washing for all of us. Soap and water, lots of motion. I tell the little ones, sing the ABC song or happy birthday for at least 20-25 seconds. Do both sides of the hands up to the wrists. Rinse off the hands. And secondarily, you could use the hand sanitizer. But the best way to keep your hands clean is washing hands constantly. And we all know this as parents: before you eat, after you use the restroom, after you come in from recess. Those would be the times when you come back in the house, after you've been to school. Those are ideal times. Immunization schedules. I'm going to leave you the link for the Centers for Disease Control, all the immunizations your children need to be kept up to date on. I'm sure you know them as well as I do. If you're a parent, they're required for school, but rotavirus, DPTs, Hib, polio vaccine, flu vaccine, pneumococcal vaccine, measles, mumps, rubella, varicella, those are all important that your children be up to date in their immunizations. When you think of food, think of the rainbow. Feed your children the rainbow. So colored, fruits and vegetables. That's what we're looking at, again, to keep them healthy and stronger and more resistant to bacteria. Another thing would be foods with microbiomes. So basically that's looking at their guts, our guts, and including a lot of probiotics in their diet, including yogurt. I know it's a real biggie. With children and with teens, you can put things on the yogurt to make it more appetizing, nuts, granola, little candy pieces, but it's really important that they good healthy guts. Sourdough bread and quinoa and those kind of things are helpful as well. Sleep is a big priority, really, for all of us. It's a good way to help de-stress and, again, strengthen our immune systems to get plenty of sleep. Children, and I'm talking all age children up to through teenagers, 8 to 10 hours of sleep a night is really, really important. Children being on a schedule, that they have a regular routine that they go through at night, you know, bathing, a story, or reading a book, listening to some music, and then going to sleep consistently at the same time and getting up at the same time makes it a little bit easier to sleep. Helping them reduce their stress, allowing them an open forum to speak to you whenever they want to about anything that might be going on with friends, with school, just how they're feeling about the state of the world, the state of their life. Oftentimes it's not as much just asking them, how are you, but just spending time with them so that they feel open to talk to you about things that might be going on. So certainly having family time together, playing games, eating dinner tonight every night together makes them feel comfortable, accepted, and they're more likely to want to talk to you about things that are going on in their life rather than being put on the spot about, well, tell me about how you are. Last, but certainly not least, get them outside. As I used to tell my children and now grandchildren, get your crazies out, have them go outside, run around, go to the park. If they're in sports, that's terrific. But we all need to get our stress out. I know I'm a cyclist. I like to bike ride. I like to do yoga. So whatever works for you, playing tennis, but activities and getting all that stress out that way, and they're far more likely to be able to go to sleep at night, want to eat more, and then this whole healthy cycle that goes on. So with all this said, just keep in mind, we have the vaccines, wearing masks in the schools, no matter what your role is, student, administrator, faculty, parent, visitor, and then breathing, being in the moment, realizing we're all going through the same thing. We will get through this together, and that there are counselors out there if you need to talk with somebody. And lastly, keep you and your children healthy. Thank you. And till next time, I'm Janet Wade.